Death by Die. Ladies and gentlemen, Xenos of all races, welcome back to another episode of Death by Die, where I bring in a guest this time, my friend Bam. We talk a little bit about the Orks, with the codex coming out today, and a little bit about what we'd like to do in the future. Alright, welcome everyone. I'm joined here with Bam.
Hello.
Do you want to tell us about your Bam, or do you not want to scare people off?
No, not really. I don't know where to start really. Got into the hobby in 5th, wasn't it?
Yeah, 5th edition.
Yeah, and fell back out of love of it come 7th. But the new Ork stuff has dragged me back in.
Right then, so good place to start then is, what is the best thing about the new Ork releases?
It's just things that when I first got into the hobby, and obviously I went Space Marines because everybody does, but Orks is always a second in my mind. It's just, I don't know.
We're all gits at some point, don't we?
Yeah, the new stuff is just more of what I envisioned. The update was well needed.
So after having a break from the hobby as well for about a year and a half, sort of 2 years almost.
Yeah, 2 years.
What are you kind of looking forward to, you know, like seeing in the codex on the table?
I think one of the main reasons I fell out with the hobby was because like everybody was like all about competitive, so seeing things like open play and people going more down the narrative route does pique my interest. So like when I'm going to be doing my army, I'm going to be looking at very, I don't know, not story driven, but I'm going to build it in a specific way that I want to, not necessarily to win.
A proper
games.
themed list.
Yeah.
So like direction wise, you're thinking Speed Freaks. We'll talk about more about that after, but what about the Speed Freaks are you looking forward to having a go of?
Just
to be fair, we've got 6 new vehicles.
Yeah, so
You were a big fan of the original buggy as well, weren't you?
No, not really. It was very much lacking, so that's why I'm enjoying these new ones. Like one of the biggest draws to Orks was how like customizable they were. So like, even though the new kits are brilliant and like they all look amazing, I'm still going to be looking at how to like tinker with them or make my own version of them.
Smash it up, make something new.
Yeah, definitely.
As it should be.
Yeah.
I'm
a proper mech at heart.
Yeah, I think I got a bit of that about me as well. You have made some really cool stuff. I might have to like see if I can find some more pictures to put up or take some new.
Yeah, well, they're all still in whip format back from the day. But yeah, just the Speed Freaks is just, I say the whole point of Orks for me is their trucks and their buggies and their bikes. So having an army based around that with special rules, it's going to be fun. Yeah,
and it's like obviously you haven't played the index versions or anything, so like
no,
you know, like from what I've played of the index, they've been reasonably competitive. I say competitive loosely. We've been like the games I've been playing is like an escalation league. Yeah. So like I've had like a reasonable amount of success in it. I think I've lost once and had some very close games that I've managed to win, but barely. But I've had a couple of really good thumpings as well, like completely obliterating custodies. That's like proper orgasmic, you know.
Yeah, I bet.
It's very nice.
Yeah, I'm coming in at like a weird point now where like I've never played 8-5 like because I didn't really enjoy the game anymore. I haven't even bothered looking at it, so I'm coming in completely blind again now.
Well, I mean, the new edition, I think you were kind of appealing with Sigma for a bit, weren't you? Yeah. Where you know you've always kind of like had your toe in Sigma a little bit, you know.
Yeah, well, first edition of Sigma, I liked how simple it was. Like one of the things with 40k, it got too complicated for me. Yeah,
you weren't a big fan of the tables and consultating things, and they have simplified a lot of that now, which is really good.
Like, and when I did jump to Sigma, I mean, one of my primary armies now with the Orks, so
Orks, bigger Orks,
yeah, bigger the better.
Yeah, definitely. No, they're really cool. So like, in terms of coming into it as a new player, almost like you've got like a, you remember how to play like some of the older rules and stuff, but like what are you kind of worried about with the new codex and coming back into it? I know the competitive nature is kind of like, you know, off-putting to you, and to me sometimes it is as well. Like I do like thumping people if they are that type of player, but I think we both kind of agreed that we want to play some narrative games. Like, I've got like an Imperial Guard army that are kind of like Necromundan based, and it'd be nice to do some kind of like story missions and like a little campaign around it. And
yeah, there's a lot of like campaign books, and there's a lot of like stories and the fluff and that. So it'd be nice to like recreate some certain things. And if you're going into a game, not necessarily going in to win it, you would have a lot more enjoyment out of these stories, I believe.
That's perfect for Orks as well, because when I do thrash out, then you can just be like, well, I've won anyway, because I just go and get to fight with Gork and Morg, or just come back and fight again. So.
Yeah, or like...
Or you just smash me, because you just roll better than me, which is likely to happen.
Yeah, normally when I smash her, it's because I flip the table.
Yeah, but my head on something.
But, no, I say, like, in again, like, these story-driven missions, it'd be nice to, like, go with, like, if you've got Imperial Guard versus Orks, do a scenario where in the start of the game it's very stacked in one side's favour than the other. They got like 3 or 4 turns to try and survive before like reinforcements come in. And
but it could be I start in the middle of the table, you start on 3, and I've got to get off the one edge with like a small force, and just if I get one model off, then I can set a warning off.
Yeah, and as you said before, you want to do like a Zulu type.
Well, there's a I forget the name of it now, but in White Dwarf, just a few months ago, they did have the Imperial Guard versus Orks refight from a battle report from about 15 years ago, where it was Orks, and it was the first time Orks. Back then, it was like your weapon skill and ballistic skill. You had to consult the table and see what you hit people on. Yeah. But that was where Orks used to be the same stats as Imperial Guard back in 2nd, 3rd edition, which was kind of shocking. It was like, oh, you hit worse. You know, you can't hit a barn door from 10 feet away, but your ballistic skill is the same as an Imperial Guardsman. Where it was the first time they made their ballistic skill was 2, so that means they hit on 5s, but their weapon skill was 4, sorry, so they hit better, which was all Orcs should have been anyway, and it's kind of cool that they've kept that going.
Yeah, when you've got these big, brutish hulks of muscle, you expect them to slap hard, but...
That's the most exciting thing you've ever said to me, Bam, fair play.
Because they're quite simple.
Just imagine you painted green now and, you know, just rub my thighs a bit.
Yeah, but because like their weapons are so simple to go with their brains, I wouldn't expect them to be able to shoot a lot.
No.
But like a mission like that, like reenacting the Zulus, again, it's that mindset then, like whichever side is going into that thing of like, oh, I'm guaranteed to win or I'm guaranteed to lose, but let's find out how many turns it takes for me to lose, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, one of the things I've always enjoyed, like, I mean, we've played some games together, you know, over the years. And like, I always used to like having my own kind of history for my Space Marine chapter, the Chromus Guard. So I had like different characters, and from game to game, they end up getting a bit of a story behind them. And then like I noticed like you and some of the other boys at club would be like initially targeting those people to try and kill them, and it'd be like, you can't do that. And then I'd like write a bit of fluff about it and be like, you know, you might have took them down in the battle, but they come back. They've got like cybernetics or something.
Yeah, I think that's like one of the drawbacks for me when I first started Space Marines is like. I was trying to like do specific chapters, so like it's very impersonal then to me because like all of those characters are already there and named and their history is there. You know what I mean? Like so like when you was kit bashing your own HQs and you know what I mean, they're yours. Plus you come up with a name and you come up with a story. Yeah. So as a competitor going against you, it was a bit of vindictiveness into trying to take them
piss
out.
People off.
Yeah, just because on a personal level, like if you lose them, it's a personal loss, or if you succeed, then it's a personal gain. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like whereas for me, Space Marines are quite faceless. So that's another reason why I think I'm going to enjoy Orks, because when I'm kit bashing my vehicles, you know what I mean, they're my vehicles.
Yeah, definitely.
I've put the time and effort into them. The same as like Speed Freaks, for instance, is not really a name that stands out the same as like you got your Gazgul and I'll try to think of names off the top of my head now.
Snickrod. You got Zagstruck, I think it is, the Stormboy guy.
Yeah, the Bad Moon's Captain Boss dude.
Yeah, definitely. So we've talked about some of the better things and like, you know, why we want to do Orks, but has there been many things that's disappointed you?
Like people are probably gonna comment like calling me a sheep, but like leading up to this codex release and all the rumors and certain YouTubers doing videos, like there's a few things that stuck out in my mind. Again, like conversions is a big thing for any Orc player, I think. So the fact that like looted wagons still haven't had an official codex entry, even though they're coming out in the chapter approved, which is all for open play, which is what I'm going to be into. I still feel a bit bad for your competitive players who won't have those entries.
The problem with that, I think, is if you try and come up with a points-based system for creating custom vehicles, there's probably going to be a lot of boost there. And I think it's good to keep that out of the tournament thing, so that doesn't really bother me, even though I want to do my own custom vehicles anyway.
Maybe, but you could always give them like a generic stat line of any looted wagon. You know what I mean? So
to be fair, most of the time you can just proxy things anyway, and as it counts as.
Yeah, but like Orcs being very like mechanically minded, like they are. Like the fact that there's very little in the way of like tanks. Like, you've got battle wagons, which have now had a shooty entry.
Yeah.
But you know that's about as much as you're looking at, and you've got mech guns. Like when you're looking at Space Marines and Guard and Tau, I mean, there's so much variety in like tanks and weaponry.
I mean, you used to be able to get like a looted wagon, and it was just like choose a kind of weapon to go on it and use a vehicle based around this size, and there we go. That's it. It would have been cool to maybe have something like that. I'll be honest. Yeah,
and then the other, again, coming from a conversion standpoint, and like, I watched a video and they made a very good point about this, but things being taken out of the codex because Games Workshop don't necessarily make a model from it anymore. I think that hurts a little bit. So like, you can't have a mega boss in mega armor because they don't make a model for that. And there's a couple of little things like that they've taken out in this.
It is disappointing. I mean, I know people will go on about the index entries and be like, oh, you can just use the index, and it's like, yeah, you can, but for how long? You know, these index books were meant as a just carry on with these for now until we get the codex out, and we've had to wait a while. So we've kind of got like used to using a lot of these entries for like the last like 2 years or so, and now they're not gone, but they're not in the main codex. So I'm kind of like wondering if the indexes are going to stay until the next codex is going to come out, and then maybe they'll bring out models for those things that they initially took away and be like, oh, look, it kind of reminds me like you know, the things like where you get like video games where you get like FIFA and all that. It's like, oh, the new next generation console's out, so we'll take a bunch of things out and then make the graphics look all shiny, and then when the new one comes out, we'll add some of the things that was in the last one on the old console. And do you know what I mean?
I think it just gives like a good escape route, for instance. So like they've gone in with this codex, but it's a case of like, oh, but if you don't fully like it, we can still fall back on this, or we can bring it in later. It's kind of like they're trying to play both sides of the coin, and it's like either go all in. So like when a codex comes out, the index should be, in my eyes, should then be irrelevant. Like especially now there's only like one codex left to release. Once that final one's out, there should be the end of indexes. Again, like, it doesn't really affect me in that sense of, like, because, again, I don't want to go down the competitive route, but I'm just thinking for the game as a whole and for, like, the entirety of the hobby.
It would be nice to be able to buy a codex and have a complete thing there, where even if you picked up some old models, you're like, oh, yeah, I got these. Because
it's very mixed as well. It's like, you should, alright, if you can use the index, then it should be your entire army is an index army. Or your entire army should be a codex army. You shouldn't be able to pick and choose out of it, because again, that's quite like unbalanced then. Or could be quite unbalanced and exploited.
One of the things that disappoints me a little bit about it is I've seen like so many custom armies over the years as well in like White Dwarf or online or whatever, and you get so many like war bosses who are in say mega armor and they're like bigger than Ghazghkull.
Or like really nice custom war bosses on bikes and stuff. And it's like, I mean, people have put a lot of time, effort, and money sometimes when you add up like the cost of the bits to make it. And now they're like irrelevant. Or
I know some people will say that it might be because of third-party miniatures sellers that because the Games Workshop have done this, but I think Games Workshop have kind of missed a boat on this, where like we quite often we want to buy things and we end up buying 3 or 4 Games Workshop kits just to make one thing that might cost us 20 quid. So if we want to make a truck, like one of my ideas is to use some of the Caradron ships. that's not just a case of buying a 20-30 quid ship from that range of something I wouldn't normally buy.
Yeah.
But that means I've got to buy wheels and tracks from somewhere as well. So that's potentially 50 quid on something that only is 20 quid on a truck.
Yeah, well, it's like my pride and joy truck of the Imperial Guard Orks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To make that, I had to buy a truck, a Orks, and then I had to...
Your kidney went to a new home though, didn't it? It was, I'm sure it's a giant.
And then, you know what I mean, I had to then trawl eBay and find... And I wasn't going for third-party parts, you know what I mean? I was trawling eBay looking for people who were selling leftovers from their kits. So, as you said, a model that costs, like, what, £22.50, is it?
Yeah.
Truck? Cost me, you know what I mean, close on, like, 55 quid all in by the time I bought everything. And so, I don't know, I think... they're missing a trick in one regards, but I get why they're protecting themselves in another.
Yeah.
But it's one of those age-old things where, I don't know, actions of the few affect the many.
Yeah, definitely.
But all in all, like, that's the only negatives I've got towards this. Like, everybody's bashing GW, and if you say a bad word, you're going to end up getting called a GW basher. I'm not bashing them in the slightest. Like, what they've done is amazing. These new kits are brilliant. They're much needed.
Well, something else I was going to ask about as well is if everything in terms of preview wise had been announced in October, right, because there was so many leaks and stuff in September, and I think even possibly before that, would October then have felt a lot better time?
Yeah,
because I think the fact that a lot of the things were leaked early,
August,
we kind of saw things and we were like, October has been announced and all that, and we didn't get anything. I think if those leaks would have been kept in, and then, like, say the first day of October, one of the buggy pictures was released, and we'd be like, holy crap, this is good. October's here, like, we're getting all these previews and stuff, and then even if they say then, it's going to be released, the pre-orders are going up on the last Saturday of October.
Yeah, there's a big tension, like, amongst the entire, like, Ork 40k community, like, being a part of the Facebook group. It was a rough month, like. But I do think GW had a brilliant idea, a brilliant strategy, and then didn't execute it very well. Like, all these kits, 6 kits, it's only 4 weeks in a month. Like, you could have staggered them a bit better than just releasing them all in one go. And the other thing, like, with October, you got 2 games. You got 40k and Age of Sigma. They could have done more with it.
I know, we're speed freaks in Age of Sigma.
Yeah.
Fast horses or something.
Like, I'm not trying to take away, like, what they've done. Like, what they've done is brilliant, but to try and hype up a month of this and then only give it in the last week, and you know what I mean, at the end of the day, today's November, and this is when the codex have hit the shelves.
I know we got the rules and stuff, and, like, I mean, that wasn't so important for you, the rules and stuff, because you just wanted to make stuff and then play some fun games with it. But it was cool to see some of the rules released in that sense, but it is annoying sometimes when the leaks come out. I got that kind of mixed feeling where I'm like, we got leaks and all that coming out. Are they real? Are they not? And stuff. And it's like, when they do turn out to be real, and you're like, how did they get all of these leaks and all that? And it's like, I know there's, like, lots of playtests and stuff, but it's kind of nice when GW get control to give us the info when they are ready, because they do it in such a better way.
Yeah, but I think they not got scared into it, but, like, rumours are rumours. Like, they didn't have, like, as soon as those rumours got leaked, GW could have just not even acknowledged them. I say the rumours got leaked in mid-August,
somewhere around there.
And then by the end of August, I think we had the first.
Well, it was the pictures of the Speed Freaks box, wasn't it?
And I mean, that brilliantly done video. Like, the marketing for it was amazing. Yeah,
that is one of the good things we've had come out of it. Where even though they've had to, like, they've been forced to kind of show a little bit of what they're bringing out, is some of the videos they've had where they kind of just take the piss out of the leaks with a potato camera video. I thought was fantastic. Like, my favourite video that they've done, though, I gotta be honest, is the one with the squat clock, but that's another matter entirely.
But I think they just pulled the trigger a bit early with the marketing and advertisement, and then kind of fell flat then in the actual October month.
Yeah, it's a kind of a weird thing in that GW, they do like to have a lot of control over what they show people. And is that kind of thing where, is it better to show people like really quick and be like, oh, this is coming next month, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, cool, that's coming next month? Or would it be better to maybe hint a little bit more, with a bit more detail, what's coming in like 5 or 6 months time, so people can be like, oh, that's coming in like November or something, and like I got loads of time to save up some money for it, and you know?
Yeah.
Or are they trying to do it from a sense of, oh, well, it'll just show up, and then if you want it, then just buy it then, or whatever? And
yeah, possibly. Like, again, like, I'm not bashing GW in the slightest, because at the end of the day, the way they've readjusted their model, shall we say, is what's drawn me back into them. Because one of the big things was the pricing of things and the way they were just churning stuff out. Like, you had 7th, and then all of a sudden it felt like a month late. I know it wasn't, but it felt like a month late. 8th would come out, and you're just like, Jesus Christ, how am I supposed to keep up with this? But no, as I said, like, what they've done is amazing, but in the same regards, October as a promotion month felt a bit lacking.
Yeah,
really.
I think if we'd have all found out about everything to do with the Orks in October and then it come out today as it does, I think we wouldn't even be talking about this right now.
No, yeah. So like, even if the entire game plan for them was to release everything at the end of the month, if throughout the month they started to drop pictures and started to drop the leaks, then you'd be excited through the entire month. But we had like a month and a half of getting excited, ready for October, and then pretty much a month of nothing. And then everything in one go at the end of the month or just past it. And I think because a lot because of the leaks, it almost feels a little disappointing that there's not another couple of new things coming out, like a new war boss or something, you know, where you've got loads of customizable options. Like, I'm gonna call it, like, for instance, people are right into, in my opinion, I think they're right in whinging that we haven't got a war boss in Mega Armor, because it would have been a perfect opportunity to release a kit where you can either make your own custom or is gas. You know what I mean?
I think if we'd have received all these buggies in the 1 month, though, we'd be like astounded that we had so many things anyway. Because like some of the other Xenos races, have, you know, they've had like maybe one character model as a release to go alongside with the codex, and so we've been kind of. Well, they've been really generous in most respects. It's just that thing of like, if we'd have not known about these releases so long ago, I think we wouldn't have had a problem.
I think coinciding with the fact that like certain entries has been taken out of the codex. So I remember when I first got into 5th and through 6th, that you'd have like 2 releases. So you'd have your codex and your first wave, and then you'd have your second wave. So like having entries in the codex and necessarily hasn't got a model yet, that just makes you hype then that there's going to be a wave 2 at some point. But not having them in there completely takes away that kind of, I suppose it takes away the hope of it, but I don't know.
I mean, the problem with that as well, or sometimes, is that GW would put in like a codex entry and it'd be like, oh, you know, I wonder when we'll get that, you know, like, I'll say one that we both got a lot of love for is the Master of the Forge with Conversion Beamer. Like, I made a custom one when I got back into the hobby in 2011, I think it was. And, you know, it looked alright at the time, and then, bam, come along and pissed all over it and made something better. But I'm not going to call you too much of a jerk for that, like, because it does look really good, and I'm going to paint it one day. But we never got an official model, and 7 years later, the Space Marine, well, say 6 years later, because I think the Space Marine Codex came out last year, it was removed from the Codex entirely, without even ever having a model, so...
But again, that's one of those, what I was talking earlier, I mean, that's a model that we both put time, effort, made our own customers, our model, even though, like mine is made out of completely, like, GW bits. I think yours was as well. So, there's a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of effort for something now that is just, it's just a dust collector.
It'll be used again. I'll make some rules for it and just... Well, this is the good thing about playing narrative games. When we play narrative games, we'll use him. I'll even let you fire him at your own army. That was
I'd probably still miss.
We might do it. We'll see. We'll come up with some rules for that. Okay, so we talked about some good things about the Codex. Well, not so many good things about the Codex, really, because we talked more about what we want to do, I suppose, and then that's kind of what we want to do now is, like, you know, you want to go Speed Freak, so what kind of ideas have you got for...
Oh, my initial idea was to do like a dual army, sort of Speed Freaks and Goths. Still a possibility, but Speed Freaks is going to be the thing I'm going to work on the most at the moment.
Yeah.
Like I've always had loads of ideas for like Death Dreads and you know what I mean, copying everybody else when they're doing a Gorkanaut using a knight.
Yeah.
I think it is the best platform for it.
It is. Because neither of us are fans of the Gorkanaut model,
No, they're too short, too fat.
I don't mind them being fat, it's just the fact that they got these legs that are by... it kind of looks like it's like they're like right under their armpits, and it just kind of looks bizarre. Yeah. It's odd. I don't know, maybe Gorkanaut and Morganauts are just big massive balls that they keep their orcs in and just run up. But yeah, I think we both prefer something a bit more mech looking.
Yeah. Like I suppose the other way, if you wanted to do one of those, is maybe going like a Tau base route. So using a Riptide, or I can't remember the name of the missile one, but using one of those as the bodies.
Storm Surge, I want to pull out of my head. I think it's a Storm Surge, something like that anyway. I know the Ghost Keel is the slightly smaller one that's like a bit more of like a stealth suit kind of mixed with a Riptide.
Yeah. But no, at the moment, I want to start small as well, because one of the things I've done when I first got into the hobby, as I think a lot of people does, is just got overwhelmed. You go out and you buy like shed loads of stuff, but then you build it all and it's there and you're looking at it going, oh, I got a painter, and painting isn't my forte anyway. So yeah, I'm going to start off small, like an escalation type route, so 500 points, work my way up to 750 and then just go. I think my cut off is going to be about 2,500 points. Right?
Yeah, I think it's a good number to have, because you can play a 2,000 point game and mix things in and out.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a good size thing. And the other thing as well is like I'm gonna have a chunk of stuff as well. So if we did want to play a bigger game, then I can always take like an Imperial Force, and like if I end up with like 2,000-3,000 points of Orks, combine it and just play a massive game if we ever really wanted to. But
I think if we ever play massive games, we'd probably double up and play. I mean, like 2,500-3,000 points each. Against 2 other people. Yeah,
definitely.
And that'd be nice, because at the end of the day, Orks, they fight each other, but they also work well together.
Yeah. So. Oh, absolutely. I just want to see a picture of us where we're both getting into assault with 30 boys, and we've both got like 150 dice in our hands, and try and roll them, and probably smash more models with dice. But
like ideas wise for my army, like the majority of it is like I want 2 battle wagons that are going to be custom to me. I'm going to make them.
Well, we both got that kind of belief that if you were using a stock Ork truck, you're not an Ork. Come on, like, I mean, smash it up and do something with it, innit?
Yeah, add a few bits, make it your own. Like I'm gonna be like aiming for like 3 to 4 trucks, 2 battle wagons. Like the idea of making my own grot tanks at some point, it fills me up with butterflies.
It is such an appealing thing. I gotta be honest.
Yeah. Like the war trike, I got one. I'm probably gonna customize that. You know what I mean? I'd probably make my own then as well. Yeah. Buggies wise, like I've already got one I can proxy as the hot rod one. What's it called?
The hot rod one. 2 seconds. I've got a codex here. Let's have a little look. They're all new, so we're still getting to grips with which one's which.
The booster blaster, I think.
The booster blaster, is it? Yeah, that one. Yeah. The red one? Yeah.
Yeah,
we got the booster blaster.
Yeah, so I made like a hot roddy type truck buggy thing a couple of years ago, so I can proxy that.
Yeah.
Well, not even proxy it, is that really?
Yeah, essentially. Is it just a case of adding like a gun to the top of it, like a little turret or something you said? And
yeah, just building the back end out, because it's like a pickup truck at the moment. But yeah, that's about it really. Like bikes wise, I think the kit. I've seen a lot of people do custom bikes, and they go one or 2 ways. You either get a death copter, chop it into a bike, or you use a Space Marines bike. Apart from that, it's about as far as you can go custom wise. Yeah. Which is nothing. I mean, there's nothing wrong with any of them. Like a mag little 2 wheels in the front and 1 wheel in the back, death copter that I'll proxy as a bike. What else? There's the one bike out of the kit that's got a track on the back, and I cut that out and used a front wheel from a truck as a back wheel for that. So I mean, that's a little bit different. So there's always little things you can do to make them your own. I think that's what I'm going to concentrate on with all my vehicles, is trying not to make them all stock from the box.
It's nice to have elements that are stock kind of thing, because it's easy to recognise for opponents, and you haven't got to explain to people what everything is. But you know, if someone can look at something that you've made custom and be like, oh, so what's that? And you're like, oh, I'm using this as a truck, and someone's like, oh yeah, that's cool, that's really good, and they you know, they remember it's a truck, then it kind of feels like a good job well done as well then, because it's instantly recognisable as something that of that size.
It's always one of the nicest things in the community I've seen as well, is people put pictures up of all their custom work, and even if they're not necessarily that good, I mean, everybody in the community is very supportive.
It's just nice to see people making an effort, especially with the Ork side. Like the Ork War page on Facebook is really good. You know, even though like I would say like 80% of the stuff I see on there, I'm not a fan of myself. I can appreciate the effort people are putting into it, and you know, see little things, and like I think even the ones I think are really bad, there's always something I can take away from it and be like, oh, that's actually kind of a cool idea there. I can see what they were trying to do, and you know.
And I say, and even the ones that people deem very bad, nobody ever comments on them saying that. You know what I mean? They're always positive, because you don't know that person, and that could be like their first ever conversion.
Oh, definitely.
Or, you know what I mean? So
it's so easy for people on the internet to be negative about things that
but it's nice
encouraging people, especially in this kind of hobby where it is about being creative. It's just what we need.
Exactly.
Definitely. So like I'm thinking of using the ships as like an idea. So I'm thinking of having some of the smaller ships as trucks, and like the big ironclad ship, as I have told you, I want to do a gargantuan squig off with, and have some like basically a mechanical squig off. But it's a lot of work, a lot of money.
The problem is as well is you're still torn between bad moons. But if you did that idea, you'd have to go freebooters.
Snake bites would probably be the ones for squig off, but
I'm more about like if you're gonna do ships for trucks and things like that.
I know.
It'd have to be. That'd be the only time I'd be in the community who'd join forces to tell you you've done something wrong.
I don't know. I kind of disagree a little bit with that. Like, I think all Ork armies and clans will have elements of other ones in them, because they're like, oh, that's really cool. I was going to steal that idea.
Well, like
I'm going to stick some more darker on it, and that's my idea now.
Freebooters, for instance. You mean the flash gets? They're bad moons.
Kind of. But I mean, flash gets are kind of their own thing, I suppose. But that's the problem at the moment. I think the biggest drawback the codex has given me is choice. I'm like, no, just give me one thing that's good, so I know what to go for. It's like there's so many things that are like, oh, that's really appealing, that's really cool, but I don't know what to do. And I know you want to kind of do like the dual thing of goths and speed freaks, and I'm kind of like, I want to stick to one just to keep it simple, because I'm terrible at remembering rules in a game.
I think like me wanting to do that split is because, like, even though I'm saying I want to do like story play and that, there's a competitive aspect of me that wants to be like, oh well, I'll have speed freaks because they'll be really good for like my trucks and my buggies and things like that, and then I'll have goths in, so when everybody disembarks and gets into fights, they'll be good there. But
I don't know if you can mix them quite that way.
Well, I don't know, like.
You'd have to have, I mean, I don't know if you'd be able to have goth boys in an Evil Sun's truck. Again, I don't think the Evil Sun's Orks would be like, what are you doing on the back of my truck, bud? Get off!
Again, I'm coming into the rules a bit blind at the moment. I know, like, force organisations change slightly.
I mean, like, in that thing, I would, like, because I mean, goths are appealing to me as well, because I have been a fan of in the escalation. You're playing big mobs of 30 boys and just either foot slogging them or jumping them up, and just being like, if I get into combat, you've got 30 Orks charging down at you, good luck. If not, then shoot them, and there's going to be another 20 left at the end of the shooting round. And
there's like the two iconic aspects of Orks in it. The ramshackle, mechanical genius, or the green tide. Like that's what they're renowned for.
And both appeal. Very much.
Both have their positives and both have their negatives to a certain regard as well.
Negatives are good. It's just so many ideas with the Orks, and it's so open. And
it's so much money.
It's like I was saying not long ago as well. Red Dead Redemption's come out, and I just had the idea of like cowboy orcs. So like, you know, you used to have the old bow boys that were like the snake bites. You could have like some mechanical horses and stuff, and have a couple of cowboy wearing hats.
If you could have orc space pirates, then orc space cowboys.
Yeah. You could probably have like a lot of different things in that sense. I suppose like you could have like orc barbarians that'd be like savage orcs. That kind of work alright. Give them like fur pelts around their bits.
I think that's the entire fluff about snakebites one is like early snakebite clans on planets that spores hit, and these orcs that are produced from it, there's no other culture around, so they start off quite
partly
primitive.
like snakebites will look at other clans as well and just be like, oh, like we like the old school orcs. We don't care about all the technology. They have got a little bit of that. They're kind of like a leeway between, I think, the old fantasy orcs and, well, orcs with a C and orcs with a K. They're kind of in between in that sense. So
if you did base your army over the fact they've come from a planet that they were there solely on their own, and like that planet might not have been touched by any sort of civilization, so there'd be no metal, or they'd be, I mean, they got to work their way through it.
Yeah. Potentially. So I mean, like, Mad Boys will probably appear at some point in there, and maybe start coming up with stuff, like, but yeah.
But when they first start off this brand new planet and civilization, like savage orcs would be the way they'd be.
Definitely. Right, so before we finish up, what would be the ideal game with a finished orc army to play in? Like, what would be your narrative? What would be the table? If everything was set in place?
It just obviously it'd be a giant war. Like, so the orc side would just be like an absolute horde of skin and metal. It'd have to be like the age old going against the Imperium. So like, if it was like an apocalyptic sized game, you'd have like predominantly guard being reinforced by like one or two, like not chapters, but
maybe like a battle company.
Yeah, Space Marines. It'd be an Imperial world being attacked. So like, you'd have.
Would you want to put like an Imperial army under siege kind of thing? Is there kind of like a hive city or that kind of?
Yeah, the same as whenever you got orcs attacking Imperial worlds, it'd just be like that kind of thing where from the distance you hear a faint rumbling of noise, and all of a sudden it's just
rocks
bikes
hitting the ground, lots of orcs pouring out, bikes speeding across deserts,
trucks, battle wagons, and in the distance it's just these big giant hulking like walkers, and you just got this Imperial city watching and waiting. So like, ideally I'd want to, again, it'd be like something with you, for instance, like if you did a horde army, I'd do a mech army, we'd go against somebody who's got an Imperial Guard and Space Marines. Obviously, like the scale that I'm thinking of in my head wouldn't be the actual scale.
20,000 points each, you know.
Financially, is not viable for me anyway. But that's the like in my head. Like if I was gonna do a narrative game, that'd be like the pinnacle of that game.
It would be nice to, like, when we get like our armies kind of finished, maybe like have an aim for maybe like this time next year to go to Warhammer World and book one of the nice tables up here and be like, right, we're playing.
Like, and if it was like a narrative game, then I'd want to do it where the orcs outnumbered, not just model but points wise. But turn 3 or the end of turn 2, turn 3 is when like a Space Marine chapter comes to save the day. So you've got like drop pods dropping up the sky.
You've got to try and whittle down the defenders straight away, and then kind of like, you know, the points come down and it kind of equals things up.
Storm Ravens come swooming in, dropping off units, like veterans and dreadnoughts. I mean, and all of a sudden, the middle of the board ignites. That's how I picture it, anyway.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah,
definitely. I think I'd like to play on a snow-themed battle like board as well.
Of orcs.
Yeah, I just like the idea of having it all white and then just being like a sea tide of green coming in and then just leaving red blotches everywhere. I think it'd be quite.
Yeah.
You look like Hoth.
Yeah.
But instead of the Imperial, just like because I want to do like a gargantuan squig off, so I'm thinking Adad. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, the orc.
You know, give the Imperial defenders like a laser or like a basilisk, kind of like the Earthshaker cannon kind of emplacement to defend, and you know, that'd be pretty cool, I reckon.
Yeah, It'd be interesting to see, like, we're talking about narrative, like, there's that faint rumour amongst the community now that Armageddon's possibly the next.
I think the focus is on Vigilus at the moment, which there's been some things for. There was like the Elder versus Primaris Marines box set come out. The Gene Stealer Cult and Primaris, was it? No, what was it? Gene Stealer Cult and Space Wolf, sorry. Yeah, Space Wolf, there was like some Primaris things in there. So I think they might do a campaign book, which is why I'm kind of hoping they may do, because they've talked a lot about the Orks on Vigilus, and that's where the Speed Freaks is based, I think, from what I remember reading. Maybe they'll do something new, like entry-wise for that. Because I remember one of the Armageddon books before, it was basically 4 new factions came out in it. You had the Steel Legion for Imperial Guard. They brought out new models. Salamanders, they brought out some new models for that. So I think it was like Chaplain Xavier and Vulcan. I think that was when Vulcan first made an appearance, or around there. They also had the Orks. And I think there was Chaos as well at the same time. And it was basically these 3 forces were all on Armageddon, so that the Imperial forces were defending and the Orks and Chaos were raiding and fighting each other as well. So it'd be kind of cool if they did a campaign book that maybe had some rules, even if it was just like a special character for each one, and be like, oh, this is the character who was in that story, or is currently in that story, because, you know, I mean, obviously Vigilus is on the timeline of 40k now, and brought out like a new model for each, just to kind of add a little something. And
yeah, that's the ideal thing with HQs. They'd always, like, since we've had the Primaris release, like, how many like captains and sergeants and
Primaris Lieutenants is probably about 30 by now. Yeah, like every limited edition model Games Workshop are putting out for a store birthday is a lieutenant.
Yeah, so
and they're alright, but
yeah,
it's a little underwhelming as well at some point, because I still haven't been drawn to Primaris. I'm old school.
No, but in the same regards, you can start doing it with other factions and races. Like starting to drop like just limited edition or single HQs. Just go add in.
It would be
always nice.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think if, depending on how they bring out this Vigilus campaign thing, it might be cool to maybe play it, and even if it's just like a little escalation thing between ourselves, just to get you back in with the rules and stuff. It might be cool to do that. I know some of the guys at club as well would be interested in joining now and again as well, perhaps. So
yeah,
we'll see. Maybe let him. I know we got a Custards player, so I don't know if I want him dirty in our campaign.
Yeah,
but
it'd be nice to go against some different like races and armies. I think that's one of the nicest things I've noticed as well coming back into it, is not everybody's jumping on the power armor bandwagon anymore. I think you're seeing a lot more representation of the other races, which is nice. Yeah,
and I think we both kind of like, from our own perspectives of our own like kind of like community in that sense, not just like in a worldwide thing, but like our club has got, we've got like Necron player, I play Orks, there's Gene Stealer Cult, there's a Tyranid player.
Yeah, compared to when we first joined club and you had like 7 to 8 people who were playing 40k and only one person was playing anything other than power armor.
I think there was Guard and Eldar. That was the only other armies that were really there. I think Necrons come into it after, but it was either Chaos Space Marines or Imperial Space Marines were the main ones.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't Space Marines, then it was Grey Knights.
Oh god.
When they were the laden cheese armies of
when they were the custodes of past days.
Yeah, and then I was introduced to plasma cannons and never feared Grey Knights again.
Like even though you said like Imperial Guard, like the Imperial Guard army was tanks.
Yeah.
So even though it was Imperial Guard, it was still armor.
To be fair, it wasn't the tanks that used to scare me, it was his ability of rolling dice. Because, well, he was notoriously good at rolling dice and rolling well.
I'm pretty sure his dice were painted in a certain way that they didn't have ones.
It felt like that
exist on his dice.
Yes, Lewis, we mean you.
But but going back to the topic, like our club now is quite diverse, so it will be quite nice to play in that diverse crowd.
Yeah, absolutely. Right then, so I think that'll do for today. You gonna come back one day and show off some of your Orky whatnots?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I wrote a 500-point list out with you earlier, so I'll aim towards that, and then we can have a look into it.
Yeah, definitely. We'll get some customizing going and get the old mech shop going and
yeah,
bust some things out.
Yeah, today's been fun. Nervous. I've never done anything like this, but fun nonetheless.
It's alright. I can hold your hand and we've been fine. We'll skip off among the spores and, you know.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I look forward to doing more. Like coming back, talking, starting to do some battle report ideas.
Yeah, definitely. Because battle reports are something I want to do at some point, but I want to kind of change. Well, not change, because I haven't done any yet. But I want to do something a bit alternative to how other people do them. I want to... I'll talk about that myself one day. But I want to keep them like shortish but narrative based is what I want to do. I don't want to be like, oh, I did this because statistically that's like 1.7% better of getting more shots off than this. No, I want to do the fun thing, you know.
Yeah, I've wanted to do battle reports for ages as well, but from a similar standpoint of like I want to do story driven games.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just not necessarily about how competitive your list is or necessarily about who wins and loses. It's about here's a good idea for a story. Let's see how it pans out, for instance.
Yeah. And I do like writing about narrative stuff on my written blog on the side of it. Yeah. So it'd be nice to kind of transfer that over
into a visual way.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do a Space Marine voice or anything like that, but
don't want to anyway.
No, that's true. You know, to be fair, I don't use Space Marines that much anymore. But we'll see. Awesome. Well, cheers for coming, Bob.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
No problem.